Mercury is a naturally occurring element in our Earth found in the air, water, and soil. Forces such as volcanic eruptions would release this element into our atmosphere naturally, but due to our industrial boom, more concentrated forms of mercury are entering our ecosystems. According to the EPA, 2,000 tons of mercury end up in the environment every year. The different forms of mercury get into the food chain and affect wildlife in different ways. Mercury works its way up the trophic levels in a process called biomagnification. Biomagnification occurs when the concentration of mercury in an organism is reached in organisms higher up in the food chain since it bioaccumulates in the prey's tissues. As you can see, this picture illustrates how the contamination gets magnified. Side effects for these species include fertility issues, death, and mutations, which is detrimental to some of our endangered species, such as the bald eagle. Being at the top of the food chain, humans should have a particular concern due to the higher concentration of mercury in our prey. For example, have you ever wondered why pregnant women shouldn't eat fish? As you have seen, fish bioaccumulate the mercury, which can cause birth defects or even the loss of the fetus. Exposure to young children is dangerous as well because of their developing nervous systems. We are exposed to mercury through ingestion and inhalation. Mercury will last in our body between 90 to 120 days and could leave permanent damage as a result. At high levels, mercury exposure can harm the brain, vision, heart, kidneys, lungs, or immune system. Residents of Minamata Bay experience the dangers of mercury firsthand. Minamata Bay, Japan, became a heavily industrialized area in the 1950s and 60s for fertilizers and other products containing mercury. Factory workers began having neurological disorders with epileptic-like seizures, which became known as Minamata disease. It first caused damage to the victim's sense of motor control and eventually caused death. Researchers found the source came from organic mercury from the products being manufactured. Unfortunately, the factory also discharged its waste into the bay, which bioaccumulated in fish that residents ate. Overall, about 10,000 residents and workers were affected by this pollution. They are still dealing with its environmental effects to this day. For example, they must place desalination plants far away from shore, partially due to the mercury contamination still found there. Recycling mercury prevents these negative externalities by taking it out of our waste stream. Mercury-containing products include thermometers, thermostats, household lamps, batteries, latex paints, CFL light bulbs, old pesticides, some clothing irons, antiseptics, blood pressure gauges, and barometers. For these products, household hazardous waste facilities will handle them each accordingly. For example, CFL light bulbs contain mercury, and a bulb eater separates the glass, aluminum, and mercury. The glass and aluminum get recycled so they can be used again, while the mercury also gets reused. Pictured is a sheet detailing that almost 9,000 milligrams of mercury was rescued from just a 2-hour collection period in Wheaton, Illinois. Residents are clearly interested in participating in these programs, and it saves many resources. More towns need to implement these programs to solve this easily preventable problem. With no way to remove mercury from our water, soil, or air, along with devastating environmental and health effects, it makes perfect sense to stop it at the source by properly disposing mercury-containing products. Encourage your town to start a program today and make a difference for generations.